Hey everyone, I have worked out what I think we need to do for the icord version. So you're going to cast on the same 3 stitches, and we're going to borrow a little bit from the super bulky capelet that we did before, and we're going to combine it here with the butterfly. And if you liked that trick about the stitch markers on the bottom to help figure out where to pick these last 3 stitches up, go for it. I'm going to do an icord here, so I'm using double pointeds. We have our 3 stitches. I'm going to slide this down to the end, bring my working yarn behind, and just start knitting again. Because the tail is anchored, I also think I can just start knitting it in the middle of the icord by bringing it up the back, tucking my working yarn across, and then I'm going to start to knit. And again, it doesn't look like much. Tail's flopping around. Can't see it at this point. Right, but bring the tail up and out of the way, yarn across and back, and as our icord starts to form, it'll get tucked in there. So here's round 2. Okay, tail up and back, slide my work down. Three. Okay, tail tuck it up. 4, so I'm just making the icord with the 6 rows. I'm tucking my tail out of the way, just so that it stays out of the way. I'm on 5. And the last one. There's 6. Okay, a couple of things. One, I've definitely anchored the tail in there, so I don't think anyone's going to notice that. I could cut it if I wanted, or I could poke it back down in there. Either one, just to get it out of the way. And this is also now the time where I'm going to pick up stitches. So, 2 things. One, because this is sort of the edge of the icord, that might be where I want to turn and pick it up now. So I want to skip the first one, go to the second one. Here's 1. I'll skip another one because I'm just trying to even them out in this sequence. So there's my 3. Okay, so I've got my side, my top, and now I need 3 more on the side. And again, with an icord, it's not flat, so you got to get them in however you can. So I'm going to go through right here as 1. And I always want to make sure that I didn't just grab the tail. That's the only danger of poking the tail up in the inside. To start with, I need something strong I can anchor it on. And the tail is only anchored on one end. 1, 2, and then I'll do the third one in here. And notice I'm only using my finger and 1 needle. If that's easy for you, go for it. Looks like I've also split the stitch. If you can get both needle tips in there and you want to, go for it. I seem to find this easier, though, to use 1 needle to pick up on the top and one side, leave the original together. And now I can put them all on 1 needle. And there's my half circle. Now, it does appear that there's a right side and a wrong side when you do it this way. So I think we need to add 1 row in here, because the pattern starts with row 1 being right side. And it looks like we're on the right side now, so if we turn it, we're on the wrong side. And this is also the bit of the setup row that we picked up from the super bulky capelet, is the first 3 stitches we're always going to slip, okay, in order to maintain that icord. And get my yarn positioned. Could either knit this or purl this across. The whole thing's in garter, so why not knit it? And then we're always going to knit the last 3 stitches in order to maintain that icord as well. However, remember, if we knit these across, we've got these purl bumps on the outside, right? Because this one's going to be curled back in. So I'm going to turn these 3 stitches for this row only. And I'm going to knit them. 1, 2, 3. So it's a little twisted looking, but when I get back to my right side, and again, here's my tail, just kind of in the way, I'm going to slip my first 3 stitches. Now I can start in pattern. And instead of knitting those first 3, I've just slipped them. Now the awkwardness comes in that my first instruction is to do a yarn over. So I'll just have to remember that when I come on by. The positioning is gonna probably drive it where this stitch is over the top of those 3. Let's do a couple of rows and figure it out. So there's my yarn over, knit 1. I'm gonna do my make 1 right. And use whichever needle you can. The official is use the left needle to come towards the front. I find that I pick it up with my right needle and put it on my left needle. Either way, you want to get it to the point where it looks like a reverse yarn over. And then you knit it through the left leg, twisting it. That's the make 1 right. Then our knit 1, make 1 left, ends up looking like a regular yarn over, which again, you knit through the right leg to make it lean left. The conventional knitting will tell you that's the front, but we're not so worried about that because you're twisting it either way. And then we're knitting our last 3 stitches. So there's row 1. 2 is knit, but remember we're always going to slip the first 3 stitches because that's what will bring this around to continue it as an I-cord. Knit all the rest. Get to the end. Here's the awkwardness of that yarn over. We can just knit it, place it back the where place it needs to be. And then, oh, we're knitting the last 3 stitches, right? We're only slipping the first 3. So those are the last 3 that get knit. There we go. Okay, turn our work. We're ready for another one. Slip the first 3. Okay, here's a yarn over again. So this is just going to become life as we know it. Knit 3. And we're going to do our increase again. Knit 1, increase again. Knit 3. Yarn over. Knit 3. Okay, so far so good. Turn it. Just the plain knitting, and this is where we'll start to place the markers on the side of the center stitch. Now, keep in mind though, we're going to keep on going here. Instead of knit 8, we need to purl, slip as if to purl those first 3, and then we'll knit the rest. So it still counts as the 8 stitches. 7, 8, here's my center stitch. I'd place a marker, knit the stitch, place a marker, and knit the whole rest of the row. Here again is that yarn over. It's always going to be awkward because you're slipping those first 3 stitches. Just make sure you knit that first, then knit the other 3. And I like the way this is looking. Let's go add some colors.